most of the calls were great. And actually, one of them was with Filmation. They eventually, once I finished the book, did option it. But I'm not exaggerating. This was the first phone call I took. One of the first phone calls, well, that's not true. But the first phone call I took, it was from a huge production company. They did Jurassic World, Sully. I'm sure that studio head's not there anymore. But I got on the phone, and I said hello. And literally, it's like, hey, dude, I want to be in the Paul Tremblay business. I was like,
oh my God, they really talk that way, yes.
And so like, what? And like,
it's where the word cringe came from,
yeah.
I think, sometimes, yeah.
So we talked for another 30 seconds, 30 awful seconds, and I'll never get back. And he said, well, I haven't read everything yet. And in my head, it's like, it's 50 pages and it's a 10-page summary, man. He's like, but I'm good at guessing where things are going. There's going to be time travel, right? I'm like, no, there's no time travel. I hung up. I said, it's like, if the rest of the calls are going to be like this, don't bother.
They
like,
hate to read. I go through this where I'll have a meeting and I get like a little bitchy because there's like 4 of them and I'm like, you guys, it's in the pages. And they're like, oh, okay. I'm like, and we're talking like 10 pages. It's like not a lot of pages. And they do that thing. I think that they assume we're more narcissistic than we are, where they say things like the Paul Tremblay business, like, we love the Caroline Kepnes world. I'm like, just read it. Like, and then they get really proud if they read anything, and it's just funny with some, not all executives, but with a lot of them, there is like, it's almost like a child, and you're like, yeah, you did it good, you read, like, you're like, this is your job.
Yeah.
And it's nice to read something, and sometimes too, I feel like we do this because we like to tell stories on paper and write them out and follow them, and when I'm talking, like, I'm not a born pitcher. I don't know if you have that gene.
No.
And I'm like, I can make anything that I write sound terrible. And I'm like, if you would just read it, I can tank anything. Like,
right. Yeah, I mean, so like I would say, like I've talked to many, producers who are very nice adults, very intelligent, and you have great conversations. But even with them, it's like, wow, like coming from the publishing side of things, like I just had this amazing discussion with this person. They knew the book. And then I never hear from him again.
Yes.
And that's just the standard operating procedure is ghosting. It's so bizarre.
It's so LA. When I first moved there, I thought, I have 10,000 job offers and 8 million new friends. Hi, Sarah. And over time, it was like, oh, I get it. No one likes to leave anything in a negative way. And I think in publishing, all the communication is very straightforward. You get this edit letter. We all know the edit letter. And you read it, and there's good and there's bad, and you have these honest discussions.
Yeah.
And then you go think. And this, they're like, we love it. You're perfect. It's wonderful. And I'm like, well, then where's the money? Yeah. And then it's like, oh, they don't like it. I'm like, well, why don't they just say? Like,
oh, yeah. No, in publishing, it's never a positive conversation. It's like, because it's all like angry New Yorkers, and they're going to tell you, they tell me what's wrong with it, and they keep telling me. Like, they'll call back the next day, and this is still wrong with it, and then this, and this, but we're going to publish it anyway.
My favorite publishing phrase is, we think this is the best it can be. I'm like, do you know what you like? Thanks.